Alright, this is the proof, guys. I finally hit Challenger again for this set, and I want to let you guys know that you guys can genuinely do it. I'm not the smartest person, nor will I ever claim to. What I will say is I just have really good habits that I've developed over playing, the course of the game. I'm really consistent in my games. I'm not like a first place messiah. Like some of these guys average much higher placements than me, but very rarely do I get a 7th or an 8th or a 6th. It's usually top, third through 5ths for me. So, and if I get a high roll game, 2nds or 1sts, I think, there are like sets and things like that. But I want to show you guys, this is like proof. I hit Challenger again. And I want to let you guys know you can do it. And in these videos, I'm just going to try to, offload my knowledge onto you guys and try to help you make, you become a better player yourself. This isn't a flex or anything. I did want to say you guys just had to let me cook. A lot of people kept stopping by, seeing when I was going to hit Challenger. I don't think it's a race. It's not a sprint. It's a marathon to hit Challenger. I'm willing to say I'm not as good as like some of these higher tier players, dude. Like these people way up here, I'll never claim to be as good as these people, because one, they climb up super fast, they get Challenger super quick, and then they stay there. Maybe towards the end of the set I could hit about 1000 LP, maybe 1.1, 1.2 if I climb really well and I keep playing consistently. But I just wanted to show you guys this, and today we're going to be going over the game that got me into Challenger, so I hope you all enjoy it. And yeah, let's get into it. I'm really excited to be able to, teach you guys a little bit about what's going on. At the start, we're just going to be grabbing whatever we can, me personally, this set, I've been kind of on like a little bit of a binge, it's a guilty pleasure, is I've been going like LeBlanc start. I've always been an AD player. Like I've played a lot of like Samira in the past sets, but I feel like AP right now is really good. And this is what I'm talking about seeing openers and lines, right? At this point I wasn't sure what I was going, because we got a lot of good 2-cost drops, right? It gives us Underground opener there, and the also is Laser Corp. We had a lot of good openers. And at this point I'm still not really sure what I want to do. But I know I want to buy pairs. I know I have a tier. And at this point I was debating on going, Renegades quick draw with Lucian. Because one, I had a really solid opener for it, and nobody's playing this at all right now in my games. Everybody's just playing a whole lot of Ox Forces. And what was the deciding factor for me to go this reroll here was the Augments, and I'll go over them for you guys here, sorry. So, Prankster Crest, I actually think is S tier. I think it's super good, but with our opener, it's a giga easy pick for a trade sector, right? Exiles you can always take. This is okay, but I would only take this, me personally, if I had a Laser Corp opener, because it gives you so much. You already have a good base damage with the drones, then this makes you giga tanky, right? Prankster is just, if I had a Gadgetine opener, I'd take this. Trade sector we're going to take because we already have 4 Silas's, we already have the Lucian, we already got the Blitzcrank, and we're level 3, right? We haven't leveled up yet, which is like a really important thing here. We haven't leveled up yet, so our chances for 1 cost is 75%, okay? So as you can see, we're just going to start keeping all the units on the board, which is 1, we're going to want Admin, we're going to want Renegade, we're going to want like quick draw with Ezreal, right? And I don't like going reroll, guys, unless I have an augment that supports it. I find it's much better to standard level, hit level 8, go for the 2 like easy upgrades when you get them, and try to build a comp around, just natural leveling and just having scaling. In my opinion, I never do really well with rerolling, but I'm glad I got myself to do it this game. This just comes with like being knowledgeable about the game, right? And giving yourself a little bit of breathing room to make mistakes. This was 1 game off Challenger, and I could tell you, I didn't play the solution comp when it was really meta, right? So it felt very uncomfortable for me to do. And we're always just going to make econ where we can. because we're going to be chilling level 4, level 5, you know, we'll only go up to level 6 when we want 3-star Ezreal. Some people would argue to just lose streak so you can get Gigabyss out of the carousels and things like that and keep your gold high. And here's another hard one. I don't know how to make this go away, but basically, this one's whenever your team gains, like, at the start of combat, your team gains 20 HP. This one's your health. At 66% health, you gain admins gain 100 mana. You're never gonna want this. You're gonna want the one that's like every few seconds your team gains mana. Every few seconds are like a killer gains AP, killer gains healing, so it allows Lucian to go infinite. You know, at the start of combat, your team gains 20 permanent health. Kind of sucks. It's okay because you know we're going reroll. But in my opinion, every 5 seconds your team heals 150 health is fucking ridiculous in the early game. It is basically every unit has a redemption on it, and it allows your team to just snowball in the early game, and it's just super good. This means like I don't have to worry about Thrill of the Hunt on Lucian. It means I don't have to worry about getting a lot of these other things. You can use your admin as like a sort of glue that keeps your comp together and picks up your shortfalls based on the itemization you get off Lucian, right? I was thinking about going to health, right? Because we have it really early in the game, but you're never going to get the modifier that gives it value. I'd much rather get the, you know, the instant combat injection, right? Especially with Silas with his heal and then this heal. He's basically lived through another 2 like rotations of spells there that he wouldn't have otherwise hit. And allowed me to kill more of this person's board. It's really good. And I'm kind of, at this point, I'm kind of getting a little worried, right? We're going to be going for Gigabyss items on Lucian wherever we can. So people keep dropping by the stream. They're struggling with itemization. Usually you're going to want to go for a main carry as items, right? And then you're going to want to go for like a main tank. So in this case, it's whoever we hit first 3-star. So it's either going to be Silas or Blitzcrank, whichever one we hit 3-star first. And then we're going to be, you know, clearly itemizing Lucian, and then Ezreal after that is our secondary carry. So you always want to have one main tank with all your items, and then 2 carries, you know, 1 main carry and then 1, you know, secondary carry with the rest of your items. Gigabyss here on Lucian is always going to be blue buff, so we're going to try to max greed for it, especially because, you know, we're chilling lower tiers. And we're probably going to start losing to people just leveling up naturally, right? So whatever item we get out of Krugs, we're going to try to kill this large rod with, whether it's Jewel Gauntlet, you know, Gunblade, something like that, so we can keep the tier slot open on Lucian. You know, I started getting a little anxious because I was scouting around at other people's boards here, and I was trying to see, like, a lot of them are going Infinity Team. I was, like, wondering if I'll be able to hit the Lucians, because I'm not naturalizing a whole lot, guys. With all these free refreshes and shop refreshes and chilling, like, with 75% and 55%, we're not hitting a whole lot here. It's making me worried, right? Because I've seen a lot of people, they'll finish their Lucian 3 off by the end of, like, stage 2. They'll roll down all their gold, right? It's all good. As you can see, this guy's holding some Silas on his board. He's going for reroll Jinx. And the biggest thing I would tell you guys is be calm and try not to overroll if you can. Like, sometimes you are going to naturally overroll. We're human. You know, we're humans. We have emotions. And fighting this tier was just giga big, bro. You guys don't even understand how high roll that is. That's the most high roll thing we've seen out of this game. And then Nico's nice too. But now since we have 55% chance for 1 costs, and it's our last tier before we natural level out of this, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be rolling down a substantial chunk of gold at 55% chance to hit this. Usually you want to stop around 20 or 30 gold. At this point I'm 1 off Silas 3, so I don't know if I rolled deeper. But usually you want to try to stop where you're not completely nuking your whole economy for the game, while, you know, you're still making the most of the lower tier, like average, right, of 55% here, because when we level up now it's going to go up to 45. And we're just going to grab either item components here at refresh. We're never taking rich gets richer. Yeah. These are really shitty items. BF sword blows. We know we want to put the chain on Silas. We don't want to have a whole lot of items chilling on our bench. We know either that this BF sword is going to have to go into Gunblade or Giant Slayer on Lucian. And I'm going to probably kill this crit glove here on Silas. I'm a proud believer, and I want to say this one. I think that Bloodthirster's a best item right now, because a lot of units in the entire game benefit from it, whether it's 5 costs. Fiddlesticks benefits a whole lot from it from Omnivamp. Mordekaiser's able to actually get off his ulti with Bloodthirster. Warwick uses it. There's a lot of units that it's good on, and it's not just a hyper carry, item. It's also like a frontline item. Like Aatrox is good with it. A lot of units are really good with Bloodthirster, right? And we're putting all of our units on the back line here, so Silas gains like giga value out of the gargoyles. So every unit that, we right click on him so we can see his armor here, I believe. And the more units that are targeting him, he gains more armor and magic resist, so that's why we frontline solo him. And also the technology is you put the shroud on him, because nobody talks about this, but the chain vest and the crit glove don't have any health components, but when you make the shroud, he gains 250 health, which is actually not like shit. It's like actually pretty good. Like, I think people are sleeping on shroud a whole lot this set. We're just gonna be grabbing the Ezreal here, because the large rod, we get to kill the even though it's not a Gigabyss item here for Lucian, because we have the admin healing, we just kind of want to kill the, BF sword if we can. But another thing that people don't talk about the Shroud Gargoyles tech here is that if somebody puts a Leona, like, right in front of them to try to laser him down, it'll shroud him. I mean, of course they can put him off to the side a little bit, but then, you can move Blitzcrank or Camille up if you really had to. And we're just kind of chilling here on 5 until we, hit our, 3 costs that we need to. I mean, there's no point in us going up levels. One cool advantage of chilling on lower tiers is that every time, we're not wasting gold on XP. So every time we get through a combat round, we're basically gaining gold. People don't view it that way, but every time that we're not, spending money on the XP bar, we're gaining gold. Like, that turn, technically, we gain 2 more gold. And the reason why we're not going off level 5 is you're gonna hit level 6 like a rational person, be like, oh, I'll hit the Lucian. I'll hit the Lucian 3, I swear. And then you play enough games of TFT and you realize you're never gonna hit that Lucian on 6. But sipping the Kool-Aid, bro. I mean, even if I have to use the Nico on the Lucian, I'll do it. Also, even if we level up, we would just be leveling up for higher chances of, 3 stars for Ezreal or Camille. We got another BF sword, which is really shitty. I didn't want to nuke my whole econ here. That's why I used the Nico on Lucian. In all actuality, you guys should max greed in your games. Hindsight's 20/20 here, but I'm only able to say that because I know what happens in the game. You should max greed. I think I just wanted to keep my win streak afloat. Always take an Axiom Arc. And the reason why you take Axiom Arc here is every time Lucian kills something, he basically insta-casts again. Blue buff, there's a little bit of stuttering where you might have to auto-attack or something. But I know with Axiom Arc, he always insta-casts. And this positioning seems grief, but it's really not. You would think that the units from the right would wrap, and sometimes they will, but the vast majority of people are positioned left side anyways. I don't know. This positioning worked well for me this game. I don't know if it's correct. I believe it is. But even if the units wrap, your whole team's on the back line. Camille's gonna walk up, Blitz is gonna walk up, so they're gonna take those units off of your backline, and they're gonna get on the Silas anyways, right? We're level 6 rolling at 40% here, and I want to see if I can hit one of them 3-star, because we're sitting on a lot here. We're 1 off Ezreal. And at this point, I figure with natural shops and my augment, I'll hit Camille 3. So we don't roll any deeper. And at this point, you guys have to, like, have your emotions in check, right? Don't get so dead set on going for this Camille, you, like, ruin your game. You gotta start thinking, what's your win con, dude? Because even though, like, we are strong right now, we need to get in the quick draw. Like, I think it's 70% on quick draw 2, 140 on 3, and then it doubles every time. So we are missing out on just free damage. We need to hit level 7, put in the Kaisa to get 3 quick draw, and then hit Misfortune as well. So basically Lucian just on his first cast kills whoever he like shoots, and then he just keeps going infinite from Axiom Arc. I don't know if we power level here to keep the win streak going. I wouldn't blame myself if I do. Because you guys gotta start viewing things differently. The win streak is like basically 30 gold. It's like 30 gold interest. One cool mechanic is Blitzcrank has AP scaling actually. And we want to put, you know, we want to keep the Silas on the front line so he gains maximum like gargoyle like value, right? And if we could have put the Keck Cone on Ezreal to give him an item, right? But then when we fight Aurelion Soul players, we're gonna get hit by the AoE, right? So we do this to where we gain value off all 3 of them gain Keck Cone value, right? But when Blitzcrank, after it procs, he walks forward, and now my 2 hyper carries don't get hit by Aurelion Soul AoE. So it's kind of cool. It's a little neat, you know, something you wouldn't probably necessarily think about doing in your games, but Aurelion Soul right now is super meta in the game, so something to keep on your mind. Now at this point, we're kind of just refreshing for Kaisa or Misfortune, and we're gonna try to go level 9. Because our board already has a really strong foundation at 3 costs. We basically want to see if we can get in, you know, another 2 quick draws, maybe a legendary or something. We want to start finishing items on Ezreal as well here. At 5-1, you guys have to understand this. Some games you high roll more components than others, and components aren't always a guarantee each game. So like you can low roll or high roll components in a game and get more items than somebody else. So like this game I'm gonna have a leftover chain vest unless like I farm an item off like Urgot. But usually you guys have to know this, and it's valuable because I have 3-star units. I don't want to be slamming a shitty component on them if I can avoid it, right? But in this case I just do it anyways, because I mean I have like 2 more item slots I have to finish on Ezreal anyways. And we're keeping our Silas left side because, one, we want to gain value off the Keck Cone. They're all going to basically walk over to Silas. I was debating on bringing him over 1 hex, but if you bring him over 1 hex, Warwick can like walk past him and like wrap to the Lucian, and I really only care about the Lucian. I mean, Ezreal's nice, but this comp is definitely all about the Lucian here. We lost our win streak here, which feels very bad. But it's okay. We're keeping the mental going. And we're looking for like 1 Misfortune here. That's why we're rolling a little deep. Because it is actually like a very huge power like differential. We also want to see if we could hit the Camille 3. We don't have any shreds here, so Morgana's really good as well. We want to go for this tier on Ezreal so we can get him to cast. He already has a ton of damage. It's more along the line just getting off his ability with the quick draw, so we couldn't get it. So we went for the next best component here, which would be Rageblade, because it has a large rod in it, right? And we're donkey rolling basically for a Misfortune, because now we got 4 quick draw here. And you can see even like in our backline, we're going every other unit. So the Aurelian Soul doesn't hit. So we have like the Riven, and we have Lucian, Blitz, he walks up, Ezreal, he stays, Camille walks up, Misfortune. So we're doing every other. So that way we gain still maximum gargoyle value even this late into the game. And then we don't get hit by Aurelian Soul. So it's like small stuff like that, like small habitual habits here of just knowing positioning that start adding up, right? And I was thinking level 9 here, I'd put in Garen for defender. I'm not so sure. Really depends who's in our final matchup. And we won this fight because of Shroud too, by the way. I seriously think Shroud might be a Gigabyss item this set. Like, there's a lot of things I think people are sleeping on, like Bloodthirster, Shroud. These items that people aren't playing anymore. At this point, you know, we're not gonna go any of those other Ornn items. Like, we don't need the AoE armor and magic resist buff because we have solo frontline, you know, Silas. We want to finish off the third item of Ezreal. So if he casts, he basically keeps casting the whole fight. Because your mana is basically gonna proc Axiom Arc regardless of what he does. Gets him to cast sooner. At this point, we just want to go level 9 if we can here. Really would like to hit this Camille 3. I feel like I'm very low rolling on it. I grabbed the Aegis Spat here because I figure Laser Corp does a lot of AP damage, but you know, the primary carries AD, so maybe I made a mistake here, right? And if I found the Vi, I could maybe, you know, change it out. Maybe drop one. I don't know what the right situation would be here for max cap. He does have the Mordekaiser with 3 items. We're still praying for the Camille, right? At this point, I realize that the Brawler ain't gonna do a whole lot for me. The Anima Squad don't matter. I kind of want to pivot my board into like a legendary board here and start putting some legendary units out on it. Especially since I have the Aegis spat, I kind of want to go for like Leona. And now we want to see if we can get Renegade out on the board. Or 5 Renegade, I mean. We're really praying for the Camille 3. I just don't... I think it's unlucky that we just haven't seen another one throughout the rest of the game here. And... we're gonna see it. I think we just sell the Camille here. I sell the Fiddlesticks because I'm like praying to hit the Camille 3 on like there's a little bit of a last roll down. I just say nah. We put in the 5 Renegade and we hope it's just enough. Oh well. But this was the game, guys, that got me into Challenger. I hope me going over it was like a little bit of informational, and I thought it was like a fun watch. It's not just Oxforce Spellslingers every game, or like Laser Corp like you're seeing right now, or, you know, Renegade Gen. It's something a little bit unique. You know, it used to be super meta, and this was the game I used to hit Challenger. So hope you guys have a really good night. Peace.